As the Congress struggles to hammer out a compromise stimulus plan, the president says that we urgently need. Mr. Obama has scheduled a Monday night press conference to address the nation and answer questions concerning the erratic course the proposed legislation has so far taken. Joining former Governor Jerry Brown and me, the man who made big waves in his state, South Carolina, and across the nation, really, when he said initially that he would not accept bailout money. The governor of the great state of South Carolina, Mark Sanford, joins me. Governor, now I read that you say you haven't decided really on whether or not you would take it if it was offered. You say you'll cross that bridge when you come to it. Which is it? You're in or you're out of this deal?
We are where we've always been, which is my job right now is to talk as much as I can to try and alert people, hopefully get people energized so that they'll call their senator and talk to them about what I think the overwhelming number of Americans believe, which is this is a crazy idea. It's going to make the problem worse, not better.
Well, Governor, let me ask you this.
Right now.
A crazy idea, but
we'll get to the other bridge when we get to it.
Okay. Now, is it a crazy idea of any stimulus at all, or do you think it would be crafted that it's not the amount, it's the way it's being spent? Which is it?
I think it's a bit of both. At some point, it's like the boy who cried wolf in that, we were told back in the spring, if we just do these stimulus checks, the economy would get better. We put in about $8 trillion worth of stimulus last year, and now they're saying, look, it didn't do it, and even though the world economy is $67 trillion in size, tell you what, if you just put in another trillion, now it'll get better. And at some point, it really gets to be not at all believable. So I think that there's a scale question, and I think that as well there is a configuration question, because a lot of this bill is spending rather than stimulus, which is why a lot of the entire Republican caucus on the House side objected, and why most senators at this point are doing the same.
Governor Brown, as I recall, you're against government debt. Where do you stand? I don't even know on this package.
Well, look, I'll tell you, the world is facing a depression. You can talk all you want about, this old game, let's not spend too much money and let's government borrowing. Government borrowing is a fraction of private borrowing. As a matter of fact, if you look at the financial borrowing, we're talking about Wall Street, household mortgages, the growth in private sector debt has been 6 times the last 2 decades the growth in our nominal GNP. And now we're facing a problem where demand is collapsing, manufacturing throughout the world is in free fall, trade, exports of manufacturing goods is in free fall. This thing could turn into a worldwide depression. The last time that happened, we had Adolf Hitler and the rise of fascism and the collapse of belief in free democratic systems. This is not a game to play. Now, I know they put a lot of pork into that. We've got to get both these parties to come together, talk to some reasonable economists. I know there's another side to this. I went to the conservative web pages, and there is a theory. This is the theory that Mellon had during the Depression. Just liquidate. Take the rot out of the system through a depression. The problem with that is that the political consequences could be terrifying. Okay, Obama is not doing enough. We need him to take greater leadership, but it's got to be with both parties standing behind him. Get rid of the baloney in that thing and go for the stimulus and the appropriate amount of spending.
Governor Sanford, you're next to respond. Back now with the Attorney General of California, Jerry Brown, the Governor of South Carolina, Mark Sanford. Governor Sanford, prior to the commercial break, Governor Brown, former Governor Brown, suggests that chaos is what faces the world unless the stimulus package is passed, unless urgent action is taken by the government. What say you in the face of the prospect of the rise of fascism and everything else?
Well, I mean, with all due respect to Jerry or to the president, there's a lot of talk out there that scares the bejesus out of people as a way of passing a stimulus bill. I don't think that that's the way you should ultimately get there. I would just say, though, that I agree with Jerry that there could be a lot of bad things that come our way if the wrong course is taken. The reason I think that this is the wrong course, though, is tied to, first of all, the real economic stimulus of our country is private capital. It is a much larger segment of our economy than even government. And what we've effectively done at the federal level is to freeze up the business community because they have no idea what the rules are going forward. They don't know if their competitor's going to get bailed out, not get bailed out, are they going to get bailed out, not get bailed out. And that process freezes up private capital, which is the real lifeblood of our economy. I would secondly say there's a real social equity question here. There was an article not all that long ago in Vanity Fair talking about investment bankers trading $60 million beach houses out at the Hamptons. And what's interesting is, how many people do you know of that have gotten a bailout? And at some point, people, the working people of this country, begin to feel like a sucker at a birthday party thinking, wait a minute, I don't know anybody that got a bailout.
Governor Brown,
but
respond.
These folks that are buying $45 million jets.
I agree. I hear you.
And I could go with a number of other reasons.
I got your examples. Good, Governor. Governor Brown?
I'll tell you, you can get at those people from Wall Street. You can reduce the mortgage payments, and that'll reduce the profits or maybe even wipe out some of them of the Wall Street people who bought mortgages. The heart of this problem, it started with housing. There's 7 to 8 million homeowners that are in danger of losing their homes. You've got to keep them in their houses. That's number one. Number two, you've got to get that money flowing through the banks, whatever way you can do it. Number three, you got to restore confidence, and that means, and this is where I would agree with the other governor, I think you've got to bring both parties together, or you're not going to get the
I don't see that. I don't see that happening now. Maybe the Pope could do it because it doesn't seem to be happening. I'll be looking forward to President Obama tomorrow night.
It will eventually.
Governor Sanford, come on in, my legal team. What's going on with Michael Phelps and the sheriff in your state capital? Probably, I think you're there right now, saying that he's going to let loose the detectives to investigate whether or not to prosecute this fine young man. Governor Sanford?
The good news is that I'm not a lawyer by training. I was a business guy formerly, and so I've not followed the legal wrinkles to what is or isn't happening.
Do you think there should be a criminal investigation
the law enforcement community?
Do you think there should be a criminal investigation of Michael Phelps in South Carolina, Governor?
I mean, again, I think that the court of public opinion has already indicted him. I think there's already compelling evidence, and he's going to deal with the consequences of that action.
So you're saying yes, Governor?
I think that's probably not.
Are you saying yes?
Apparently Kellogg has already pulled their endorsement. What's that?
Are you saying yes, he should be prosecuted?
No, I'm saying the reverse. I mean, in other words, I don't know what it gets at this point. I mean,
oh, good. Oh, good. Good. I knew I'd like that guy. He's going to run for president. Mark Sanford. Thank you. Thank you, Governor Brown. Thank you, folks.